everyone, welcome back to the Wild Thoughts podcast. I'm your co-host Kat.
I'm your host Afi.
And today we're back, but we're on Zoom because Montreal is going into another lockdown 100%.
Yes. And we got to be safe.
Exactly. So we're going to do a couple episodes, probably a few episodes actually on Zoom. But this is the last episode of 2021 and we're going to be talking about the biggest lessons we've learned this year. This is really exciting.
Love it. Exactly. Oh my God, I didn't realize that it was technically the last episode that we're recording in 2021. That's crazy.
Yeah, so we dressed up in our New Year's Eve fancy clothes, even though we're not going to be going out for New Year's Eve.
Nope.
But we wanted to dress up anyways for you guys. You know, this is a celebration. We made it.
Exactly. In the mood. Look at Kathy's pretty pink eyeshadow.
Yeah, I matched everything. All pink. I feel like a Malibu Barbie.
And the silver jewelry.
Yeah.
It's looking good. I love it. I love it.
You too. We're matching pink.
Pink I'm wearing touches. A black with flower.
We're very springy.
Depressing.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's cute.
But shall we dive into the episode? And I'll start with the question of the week as usual. So the question of the week was, what's your biggest takeaway / lesson from 2021? So let's see what people said. So here I have, sorry, it was the opposite way. Okay. So the first one is, you're stronger than you think. Okay, cool. That's true.
I like that.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Ooh. Okay. I feel that.
Pandemic vibes.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't take everything so seriously.
I agree. That's a big one.
Yeah. Let go of things you can't control. Ooh, that's so true.
A lot of people need to learn that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good one. Take nothing for granted. Given the situation.
Yeah, especially with everything that's going on.
Yeah, everything.
And we're back in another lockdown, so here we are.
I know. I'm so tired of it. Oh my God. It can always get worse.
Oh,
okay.
That's like a little negative, but
I mean, true. It is true in a way.
Yeah.
Jake. Okay, but wait, the same person wrote JK, but scheduling what I do on my downtime makes my time off actually feel I can't pronounce this. Revitalizing.
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 Yeah, that's true though. Like, especially since for sure after the new year we're gonna be in a lockdown in Montreal. I think they're gonna announce it, and since and probably a curfew again, and since
there is a curfew. No,
it was rumored, but they're not doing it yet. But I'm pretty sure they're going to start it later. But because of all that, we're going to be stuck at home again. It's going to be very depressing, especially in the winter. And fill your time, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Or else you're just going to be sitting in your bed, sitting on the couch, doing nothing. You're going to be even more depressed because you can't see anyone. Yeah.
It's fun for a couple of days to sit in your bed. I did that after my exams. But after a while, you literally feel what the hell? I need to get on my bed.
And you get exhausted just from doing nothing. So it's better to plan stuff and actually do things.
I agree. And it's crazy because I'm supposed to go back to school in the winter, and it was supposed to be in person. So now they're saying the first week will be online, but after that they're going to resume in person. And I'm like,
that's not happening.
Low key though, I would in my head, I'm like, oh, it's sad. I want to go back in person. But last semester when I had one class in person, I was lazy to go. And I was like, well, why? Yeah. Why couldn't this be online? So in a way, I don't mind if it's online. In a way it's nice to go to school, whatever, but I was lazy, transportation and everything, but those were the questions, the responses, I guess we got to the questions. So we're gonna get into the real deal. What me and Kathy learned this past year.
Yeah, so I'll take it away because as you were talking about school, I feel the same thing for work, where working, I started working at work a couple of days a week, and now we're just going to be working from home. And I kind of because in the winter, I don't feel like traveling to get to work. So I kind of like it. But my first answer for the biggest lesson we learned is I think hybrid working systems over working office full time is 100% the way to go. And agreed. I think our CEO of our company announced that we're never going to go back working full time. So I hope I hope everyone adopts that, because honestly, I can't remember how I was able to work at an office 5 days a week, 9 to 5, not even, probably 9 to 6. I can't do that. It was
No.
it's so draining just to go 2 days a week.
Yeah,
Imagine a full five
exactly.
days.
No, exactly. No, I agree. That's funny too, because it kind of relates to like my first point, which was like we were doing way too much before.
No,
And
literally.
yeah, but the thing is, now I'm looking like taking into perspective, is it that were we doing too much, or is it just that we got used to this new reality? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. So
we got used to this.
one of my sub points for like hybrid working systems is like, did we all just accept that it was okay to be tired all the time? Because I
Yeah.
remember when I was working, and especially I didn't have a car at that time, I didn't have a
Mm,
license. So like I was
yeah.
traveling with bus, metro, 3 hours per day.
How do
Like
we
it's
do that?
exhausting. And I just like,
Yeah.
I would get home, I would pass out at 9 because I was so exhausted all the time. But I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just corporate life, you know?
Exactly. And you may not realize that you're tired because like you have to do something the next day. You have to keep
Exactly.
going. So by the
Exactly.
time you like it hits you, now we got the break. So like our body caught up to us and like our
Yeah.
mind and we're like, oh shit, we're exhausted.
No, for sure. And I feel like because now we have more time to kind of chill and like get our day going slowly, we also take more care of our mental health that way because like we're not
100%.
rushing and then like we're not like, even if we're super stressed about work, like at least we're in the comfort of our own home. We could take a break. We
Hmm.
can like go make ourselves a coffee, have a little me time, you know, like it's better. It's just
Exactly.
better overall.
Yeah, I think self-care was way more emphasized
Mhm.
because of the pandemic and like how important it is. But I
Yeah,
guess also because we were going through like stressful times more than usual in a way. So that's why it was like, oh, really
for
take
sure.
care of yourself because you're out of the norm. You don't have like a steady routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I love that. I think one of the lessons too was like I really learned to like take care of myself. And I
Hmm.
did not do that before, like
Yeah.
at all. Like I don't remember what I did before the pandemic.
No, I feel well, same. I'm always like go, go, go. So I would do a face mask once a week. That was my
Yeah,
chill time. But like other than that,
that
I would
was
try to
it.
fill my time. Yeah, I would try to fill my time by doing other work, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah, I don't know how we had time to do anything else other than just like school or like
Seriously.
work and then that's it. Like how did we
Yeah.
I don't even remember. And
Yeah.
like I don't know how. I don't remember necessarily being like tired because it was the norm before,
Mhm.
but if I did what I did before now,
Oh my
whoa,
God.
I'd be in like a coma for six
No,
days.
seriously. By
Like
7 p.m., I'd be out like a light.
oh, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I also learned that because I always work in like corporate settings,
Mm,
I also
mm-hmm,
learned that when you have a younger team and like I
mm.
have a younger boss, like it shows how much we as a generation, like millennials and Gen Z, prioritize self-care and mental health. Because like
Mm.
if I have to take a personal day just because I need a break,
Yes.
my boss is
It's
like, I don't need an
okay.
explanation, just tell me you want a day off and you get the day off, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also at work, like you shouldn't have to, if you're sick or whatever, you don't need to justify like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm coughing a lot and like, you know what I mean? Like you just, and like you said, like mental health and like taking care of yourself is more of a priority nowadays. I know
Mhm.
someone too that was working at a company. I think, I'm not sure if a lot of companies do this, but where like they have unlimited sick days. Or like
Oh,
I guess unlimited mental health days. And like obviously you're not going to take
that's
advantage, like
good.
you're not going to like call in
Well,
sick every day to
yeah.
work, but
That might be, but if they have unlimited, it's probably like only a certain amount is actually paid, and the others is like you
yeah,
just
could
take the day
be.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, could be. And
but
obviously like
it's
there's a
good that
point
they have the
to where
option.
exactly. And like if you're taking multiple mental health days when you know you don't need it within like you take a whole week off, but you know you
Mhm.
don't you know you're going to be behind in some of your work. So at the end
Yeah,
of the day it's like but obviously mental health days are good and like taking time off if
yeah,
necessary is very okay.
yeah, 100%. That's actually one of my points where it's like it's okay to take breaks and don't feel guilty for taking a day off. Because even me, like
100%.
a lot of times, if I want to take a day off of work, even though like I need it and there's nothing going on, sometimes I feel guilty because I'm like, I could just be advancing my work. I could just be getting ahead, blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah,
it's like, if you need the day off, take the day off. Don't justify
exactly.
it. Just take the break.
Yeah, and you can continue your work like the next day
Yeah,
when you're feeling
exactly. Your
better,
work's
more
always going to be there.
energetic. Exactly. And you're going to be probably more productive too once you feel better or you're a better mental state, you know?
Yeah.
But also
100%.
like just like emphasizing on the hybrid systems, 100% I agree. I haven't worked like hybrid because I'm just in retail, so I can't really, I
Yeah.
wish there was hybrid, but well, it'd be e-commerce basically, but I
Yeah.
have to go in person because of the stores and stuff. But like that would be so nice in my future jobs if I could just have like, it'd be weird at first because like I wouldn't meet anyone in person right away and I wouldn't have like getting to know them as easily because in person, you know, it's easier, whatever. But it'd still be nice to like have like 2 days office and like 3 days like at home. Like, oh, that would just relieve so much stress, so much like transportation, time. It would be great. I'd love that.
Yeah. That's
I think it's
exactly
the
what I
new way
was
to go.
doing. Yeah, that was exactly what I was doing. And like honestly, your point where you're not meeting your coworkers, like I get that because for 8 months, I was only talking to my coworkers virtually. And like, yes, I kind of got to know them, but not really. So then when we met that first time in the summer, it was like kind of awkward at first, even though we've been talking for 8 months straight. But then like once we started the hybrid system, like those 2 days, it's like you're socializing the whole day. Like you're still doing your work, but you're socializing and getting to know them that way. So then the other 3 days, it's more chill. You're just doing your work. You're connecting with them when you have to do like workshops and stuff like that. So I honestly think it's more productive to be working in a hybrid system.
True. And like talking to like your colleagues, no offense, but like every day is exhausting in person. Like in person, you
Sometimes
might need.
I'll book up my afternoon when I'm working from home because I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And now, especially, I don't know, I just feel like we were, I don't know how, we were socializing more than we wanted to, I guess, in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because
like
we had to more than
we
we
had
wanted
to,
to.
exactly. So in a way, it's nice when you don't have to like see everyone. Like sometimes I go to work, I'm like, oh, like I don't want anyone to talk to me or like, you know, just I just want
and you
to be in
can
my
work in
bubble.
your comfy PJs or lounge sets,
Exactly.
just chill. Yeah.
But then in a way, I'm also nervous for that because I I did it for a couple of days when I was doing, you know, that marketing internship I told you. Like I try to work from home, and maybe it's because I didn't establish like a setup yet and I wasn't like into it yet, but I couldn't like concentrate at home because I was home. So I would go like do other things or like it didn't feel like I was working. So I think that's more of just getting used to, but we'll see.
Yeah. But also on that, because you're working from home, obviously it's you're easily distracted because everything you own is around you. So like you're just like sometimes if I need a break, I'll literally lie on my bed for 5 minutes and just be like, okay,
exactly.
I need a break.
Exactly. Like some people who are working from home will literally like take a 30-minute nap if they need to.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have
One of my coworkers does that. She needs it.
I love it. Catch me doing that. No, I'm joking. If my future employer is watching this. But wait, there was something else that I was gonna say, but I think it's also like I learned to study before. I could never study at home. Remember, like I was always like, oh Kathy, how do you do it? Like I'd always go to the library, but even at the library sometimes I wouldn't be productive. But now because I was forced to, I really learned how to like create a study space at home and like what tools I need. I put my ambiance music, I have my tea, like I'm good. So I think it's just that like once I learn that routine and like set it up the way I like, it'll be fine.
Yeah. And also to have like a separate space for your working from home stuff. That's like huge. Like if you have the ability to have it in a separate room, like do that.
Yeah.
But if not, like I have my desk facing away from my room basically. So I'm facing the window. My bed's behind me. So I'm more like I feel like, you know, like I'm in a box.
Your workspace. Yeah, exactly. No. Hopefully I'll turn my study room into a work room in the near future.
Yeah.
Crossing our fingers. What I learned was that we were doing way too much beforehand and we didn't give our bodies like enough rest. Like for example, I remember like before the pandemic, I was literally going to school, then hanging out with friends. I was like my mom was always like complaining because I would come home like kind of like late at night and I wouldn't go eat like with my friends all the time or hang out. But you know, when you're downtown, everyone's at school, like you kind of make plans and it was just the norm. Like you just did stuff after class or you went places. And it was always like that. So I'm like, how did I have time to do anything? And I just feel like it wasn't a healthy routine. And I really I think also within this, I didn't know how to say no. Like I would always say yes to things and I didn't know how to assess whether I genuinely wanted to go to places or actually like do these activities. I would just do them. Like I would just say yes to anything that came my way. And I feel like now kind of like I've learned more boundaries. I've learned when my body needs rest and like to listen to my body more, which I didn't do before. Cause I guess like, I don't know, maybe there was more FOMO too, because everyone was like, there wasn't a pause on the world, like because of the pandemic now, like everything's kind of like slowed down. And I would just like say yes to anything, even like if I regretted it later, and then I would just keep doing those same patterns. So I think that like it really taught me how to like create boundaries, self-care, and just like say no to things when I didn't want to do them, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And you said boundaries, and that's a big thing. Like we had our whole episode on that, and a lot of the stuff, it was good that we did that episode for me, because a lot of the stuff I didn't identify beforehand that I needed to set certain boundaries. And like boundaries is a huge thing, especially like I've been seeing a lot of TikToks actually of like I don't know why all of a sudden I'm getting like parent TikToks, and like they're showing their kids, and like one of them, it was like a younger sibling not like pounding on their older sibling's door, but the older sibling was like, go away, I don't want to play, I want to be alone, blah, blah,
yes,
blah.
I saw this one.
Yeah. And it's like boundaries are important for any age. So if like if you're in that situation, you're a parent, okay, we don't have a parent audience probably right now, but like if you are in that situation, you see that, like you need to teach your younger kid to be like, hey, it's okay, respect he needs his time or her time or their time, whatever, respect that, blah blah blah. And we should be teaching that from a young age, because then you get to where we are now, or like even our parents, and they don't really know what boundaries are.
Exactly.
Like they understand certain ones for like social norms, but like your personal boundaries, they won't know, because we're not vocalizing them.
Yeah, that 100% agree. And I feel like, because the thing is like, I feel like there's like a line between being like disrespectful and like having a boundary, and I guess older generations or whatever, they would kind of consider like having boundaries as being like rude or impolite. But like even me, maybe like back in the day, like if I saw that video, I'd be like, oh, like he's so mean, like just play with your little brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. But now that I'm more aware, I'm like, okay, now I'm looking at it from a different perspective rather than like judging it. So I feel like I have I'm seeing both sides. Like I get, you know, the little brother or your sibling wants to play, but like I understand like if you're not feeling well, you just don't have the energy. So yeah, I think it's important to teach boundaries from like young, and like since okay, I can't talk. I think it's important to teach boundaries from childhood, you know, because like that's when you like develop and learn habits, and I don't know, I think it could affect like your adulthood, and then you're gonna have trouble creating boundaries because you're gonna think it's like associated to being disrespectful or rude or like people pleasing, whatever it may be. But yeah,
100%. And like I'm still learning that, because like when I first saw that video, I was like, oh, like the little kid's so cute, he just wants to play with his older brother. And then I was looking at the comments and they mentioned boundaries, and I'm like, oh, like I clicked after. So it's like,
exactly,
it's still a learning process, but just the fact that we can identify it now and like learn from it, that's like huge.
100%. I think boundaries are part of my self-care now. I'm just like, and I don't feel guilty anymore because I understand what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I know it's not me being rude or disrespectful. It's just me politely like creating my personal boundaries.
So, exactly.
Don't feel guilty, guys. Just do it.
So this kind of ties in. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, but I think where the miscommunication happens is that not everyone is aware about healthy boundaries. So then that's why people assume like, oh, she's being rude, or like, wow, like you're never there. You know what I mean? Like they just assume negative things when it's because maybe they're not aware of like boundaries and like healthy boundaries.
Exactly. And that's why people need to learn what boundaries are. And like, that's why I love doing that episode. Cause like if someone stumbles upon it and they learn about it, like that's all I want. Someone just to stumble upon it, learn one thing from our podcast, and then move on.
One of my favorite episodes, actually, because I thought it was really good. Yeah.
I really love our self-care episodes. I think that's I love those ones.
Yeah, me too. And I love listening to them. Like, I think that's like my favorite type of topic to listen to.
Yeah, I feel refreshed after we record.
Exactly. We're like, our higher self is coming. Coming in progress. We love it.
Exactly. So this kind of ties into my next point where I said you don't owe anyone an explanation. And we've been saying this probably since the beginning of our podcast, but
Yes.
like learning to say no and not giving it an explanation as to why you're saying no, that's like probably
Yeah.
the number one boundary that should be a priority for you, because
Exactly.
that's exactly what we said in the boundary episode, where it's like, if you say no, don't give a reason why, because then you're just like, you're looking for validation, you're seeking you're people pleasing and doing all that, and it's like, just saying no is you putting out your boundary, and that's the first step to setting a boundary, you
Exactly.
know?
And I feel like when you now in a way, like I know me, sometimes I have the habit or like second nature to like justify right after I
Mm-hmm.
say my response, like yes or no, I have to like justify it. But I feel like that almost like it communicates that you're not like confident in your answer, or like I guess confident in what you're saying, because you feel the need to like have to over explain or over
Yeah.
justify yourself. And I feel like there's a power in just saying yes or no, because you know you have the right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm like, honestly, I'm still doing it. Like the other day, I said no to a friend, but then I was like, oh, it's because of this, blah, 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 because I felt bad.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
shouldn't have to do that. I should just be able to say no and they accept it. And like when other people
Exactly.
do that to me and they say no without an explanation, I'm just like, okay. So I need to learn
Exactly.
how to do it too.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And I think at first it'll feel weird, like getting like just like a no or a yes response, but like eventually we'll get trained to it and we'll get used to it. And like now we're understanding where that person is coming from more. So we're more like empathetic or like
Yeah,
understanding of it, you know.
understanding.
But
Hmm.
exactly, but even me before, like I mix it up sometimes. I'm like, no, I can't today, like just that.
Hmm.
And at least I didn't just say no, like I wrote like I can't today, you know. So it
Yeah,
adds
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
not justification, but
It's a
sometimes I'm
soft
like
blow.
exactly, it's like more like how, yeah, like you said, a soft
Yeah.
blow, there you go. But then sometimes I'll be like no because blah blah blah, but I guess because I feel more guilty, or like I don't want them
It,
to think I'm lying or something
yeah.
like that. But it shouldn't, like they should just trust you at that point.
Exactly. I think it also depends on the situation that you're saying no to. You know,
Exactly,
like
true.
sometimes it's like if it's something that's a little more important to them, but you're like, you're tired, or you're like, you have a migraine, you can't go, then you'll try
Yeah.
to give an explanation because you feel bad. But
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
that's okay, but
Yeah. You
you
need to
should learn
judge.
how, yeah,
Exactly. Use your own judgment and like depending on your relationship with that person, like what type of situation it was. But I
exactly.
mean, just know that you don't need to explain yourself for every little thing, you know, especially
Yeah,
at work. Don't
especially
let,
at work.
especially at work.
No one at work needs
Just
an explanation. Just say no
exactly.
and move on.
Just say no. They're not your, well, they could be your friends, but it's work professional.
Yeah,
So just don't need
exactly.
to give them. But my next one was basically like I learned how to enjoy my own company. And it's actually a lot of fun once you like figure that out and you're not so
Mhm.
scared about it. I feel as though like before I would like not I would depend on people, whereas like not that I was like my whole life was dependent on others, but I would get bored easily and I wouldn't know what to do with myself in my own time. And I would always look like if I was bored or like I hadn't seen anyone like maybe for like 2 days, I would be like, oh, like message a lot of people. Do you want to hang out? Do you want to hang out? Because I just wanted like to feel like sometimes it's normal, right? You need like a boost of energy. So you want to see your
Yeah.
friends. But I feel like it was like a bad habit where I didn't know what to do with myself. And
Hmm.
that kind of like backtracks me, because if I'm always spending time with other people, just like chilling, then like when am I gonna work on my stuff and like
Hmm.
just things I want to do? When am I gonna be with my own thoughts and how I feel and like
Yeah.
take care of myself? So I feel like the pandemic, because it forced us to slow down, obviously like yeah, the pandemic had a big part to it because it really like forced me to be alone.
Hmm.
It allowed me to just like I don't know, just be comfortable with myself and like find little things that I like doing on my own. And I like talking to my friends. Obviously, I like seeing
Yeah.
them, but it doesn't have to be like daily or like
Hmm.
where that's my first like reflex is to like contact someone as soon as I
Yeah,
get,
for sure.
bored or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Because you have to live with yourself. So you have to know what makes you happy and what can fill your time. Especially like we said at the beginning, you need things to fill your time. And if
Yeah.
you're not seeing anyone and can't have that social interaction all the time, it's going to be a boring life.
Yeah,
You need
exactly.
to
If you're
find
always
things that you
like
enjoy. Exactly. You need to find things that you enjoy to like make yourself happy and know and not be dependent on other people to find that happiness.
exactly, 100%. Yeah, and I think like I changed in that aspect. So yeah, that's good because like
Yeah.
I have like other options before I'm like, oh, let me just contact this person just because like I'm bored, I need to pass time, you know? And even that, like that could be, you might think that's gonna like cheer you up or make you feel good, but first of all, it's only temporary because you're not gonna be with them 24/7, and it's probably not healthy to be with your friends like or with anyone, even your family. If you were with them like in a room 20, you need to be on your own, you know? So
exactly.
I think it was really good, and like I'm really proud of it because I have like I don't need anything to make me happy in a way, if you know what I mean. Like I could just be on my own and be content with that. Whereas before I feel like I struggled with that, and like it just like I don't know, I would not get bored, but like I would get like in a sad mood if I didn't see people. Yeah, exactly, you know? Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. But that's good. That's a good thing to learn.
Yeah, exactly. I'm proud of myself.
Okay, so my next thing, this is a little weird, but I said it's okay to spend money.
That's not weird.
So let me give you the explanation. So obviously, if you have money to spend, I think it's okay. Don't be afraid to go to nice dinners or get like buy more expensive things, a more expensive coat, like treat yourself sometimes, but obviously still be smart with your money, still save your money and like invest in things, blah, blah, blah. But if you can afford to spoil yourself sometimes, do it. Like I went on so many dinners during the summer and like treated myself, just especially because we were confined for so long. I was like, I have the money to spend. I'm not going to go broke if I spend this money, and I still have like my savings and all that stuff. So like just going for a nice dinner and being in the company of people that you care about and you have a good time with, like it feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's like the experience too. Like even like now you're talking about more like dinner. So that's more like, okay, like who are you eating with, the people you're enjoying the moment. But even like buying something at a store, like a luxury item, even not even luxury, like I don't know, let's say you wanted something at the drugstore, like anything. But just that's also, even though you're purchasing something maybe like that may seem materialistic, but it's also an experience, like going out, getting something you wanted, you desired, you know, or because I think like you shouldn't like deprive yourself from spending, because that just like is worse, especially if you can afford it, you know, obviously like if you can afford it, do it. But like, no, I understand what you're saying. It's also it's fun to have these experiences, and like we were locked in for so long. So
exactly. And it's just to have the money to spend and like just not spend it, but like not even saving, not investing, like not doing anything with it. Like at that point, it's like you're investing in your experience while you're young. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think we spoke about it in a previous episode, like how you should be saving your money and like stuff like that. But like I had this moment of realization with one of my friends too. And we were just like, we have the money to spend. Let's go for a nice dinner. Let's like, once a month, let's go to a more expensive dinner. Like even for my birthday, this was the first year that we went to more expensive restaurants. And like, usually I'm like, I don't like having other people spend a lot, or like even me, sometimes I'm like, if this is over a certain amount, I'm like, I don't like that. But like this year I was like, I was in quarantine for so long. I wasn't buying anything, and I wasn't going anywhere, that I want to have time to like enjoy myself.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like you kind of let yourself go more, and like we're more lenient and less like strict, like oh no, and like more open to like doing things you wouldn't normally like do or like spend on necessarily. Yeah, no, I agree. Because I feel like I always say this, but like yes, money is important because you need it to like whatever survive. You need a minimum of money, right? But I feel like it's just money. Like I could make money. Like, well, fortunately, I could make money in different ways. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's there to spend. Yes, in my future, I want to save up to get, you know, bigger investments, a house, whatever, a car. But like, how much am I only gonna save just to get those few items? Like, okay, after that, what? You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to spend the money that I'm saving on little things too, or like experiences, not just like these big ass investments, which I think sometimes it's like, I totally understand. Like, I totally understand the whole concept of like saving for like your house, but some people don't necessarily want that. Like, you know what I mean? Some people find more joy in, like you said, going to that nice dinner, and maybe they prioritize that over, they don't want that big fancy house because that's not their ideal, you know?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
that's what I'm
I see
saying.
what
Like,
you're
if you
saying
have,
though.
yeah, if you can afford it and like you can afford it over all the saving and investing that you're already doing, then
Doing,
go
yeah.
for it. Don't just let that
Yeah.
money just sit there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like
And you're
what's the fun
also,
in
you're
that?
paying, yeah, you're paying for an experience and like you're bonding with your friends, your family, your loved ones, like
Mhm.
everyone. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It may like also to just get dressed up because like we've
Yes.
been in sweats for the entire year. So just like having
Yeah.
the ability to dress up, put my makeup on, do my hair, like it made me feel good, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. No, 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 I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even now, like, because I've gotten so lazy with dressing up, like, sometimes just dressing up exhausts me, but I love it. But I
Yeah.
just need
Well,
to,
yeah,
like, get
it can
back
get
into it.
stressful. Like
Yeah,
sometimes I'm like, I
exactly.
have a whole closet of things to wear, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I need to
Yeah.
sometimes now it's like my mentality is like, okay, I'm going out for like the first time in 4 months. I need to
Mm.
show up.
What did I buy this last 6 months? I need to wear it
I'm like, I
all.
need to look good.
Yeah, because who knows when the next time I'm going to be able to go out. No, no, no.
Exactly.
I feel you 100%. No. I love that. Let's just spend money.
Yeah, let's just spend money.
Okay, so my next one kind of like in a way ties into what Kathy was saying. It's more like appreciate the little things. So
Mhm.
I feel like before the activities or the experience that I had, it was mostly like the same thing, like going out to eat. Like, I don't even know what I did, but it was mostly like going to restaurants or like activities that we did. But now I feel like I appreciate just being in the same room as my friends. Like, we
Mhm.
literally not spend money at all, just have
Yeah.
like snacks and like us talking. And I would just be happy and content with that. Obviously, it was nice to go to restaurants later on. Like, it hit me. I was like, oh, I miss going out
Mhm.
to eat. But I feel like now, like before, you remember in the summer, we would just have like picnics and like
Yeah.
it was
Just
so
spend
nice.
time.
Like,
Yeah.
exactly. We didn't need anything else. We didn't need to, but I feel like before the pandemic, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't have as many picnics. We'd just be like, oh, let's go out to for drinks or to eat
Mhm.
somewhere, on a terrace or whatever. But I feel like now, like, we have those options and we're more like creative with our
Yeah.
time and like activities.
Yeah, we had a paint night, a
Oh
wine and paint
yes,
night.
that was so
Yeah.
fun. Exactly. I think about that. So I'm just like, yeah, it's more like the time. I feel like what's important is who you're spending your time with,
Mhm.
and that pretty much like sums it up. Yes, and I guess it
Yeah.
matters what you're doing because like you want to do fun things, but it doesn't have to be like super extravagant all the time,
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
I feel like I could have fun with less now.
Yeah.
If that
I get
makes
what
sense.
you're saying. That
Yeah.
kind of is related to my last point where I'm saying like make time for people that matter.
Mm,
And like because we've been alone for so long, like we need to like invite people out, invite people over, just have a Zoom night, have like just think of creative ways just to connect with people because we've been so
yes.
confined in our box for so long. But also I
Hmm.
said also understand that people can still be busy as adults and they have busy schedules.
Yes.
So don't be like mad at people if they can't make it. Again,
Mm,
don't look for an explanation if they say no, but just like
exactly.
it's super important to make time for people that you care about and like continuously
Exactly.
connect with them.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. And like I feel like we appreciate our time more because like someone said, like don't take things for granted. So because we were like locked down, just the little things were like, wow, they have
Yeah.
such a bigger impact on us now. My last 2 points here, I'll just like they kind of go into each other, but I already mentioned, but just the like self-care
Mhm.
should be our number one priority. Like
100%.
exactly. Like who cares about other people? But self-care has so much. So that's why I feel like it's a very like broad point. Like there's a lot of things that could go into it. Like it
Yeah.
could be not people pleasing. It could be don't justify yourself. There's so many things, but I just think it's important to like take care of yourself mentally, physically, everything that goes into self-care. Just like
Yes.
I feel like that's my goal, just like do as much self-care as possible in every aspect,
Yeah.
even like physical self-care as in like now I have more of like a steady skincare routine because I have
Mhm.
time for it, and like I want to feel fresh since I'm home all the time, and
Yeah.
like I have my tea now which makes me feel nice and calm, so
Mhm.
just like I turn off my phone, like I try not to use it as much. I just feel like 2021 really allowed me to like reevaluate my physical and like mental well-being and
Yeah.
like put more effort into that because I had time to think about like how I was feeling about myself. So
For
I just
sure.
feel like improved on, you know, certain habits and like bad habits, made better habits, and like people pleasing, boundaries, and all of that good stuff. But like pretty much, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. So self-care is like super personal. So it's like whatever you like to do and it calms you and you get into your Zen mode. Like that's what self-care is. And like, I just find if you continuously work with your self-care and you're just like, you're working on yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, like Afi said, it's going to strengthen your other relationships because you're secure and confident with yourself. So then you'll have more time and more energy to put into the other relationships around you because you're so like at peace with yourself.
Exactly. And I feel like before this past year, like let's say 2020 or whenever, I was putting in more effort into like other people, you know, like how other people were feeling, how I was affecting other people, but like not myself, because I didn't get a chance to like evaluate if I was, you know, my relationships, were they healthy or not, were my habits healthy or not. So like, I don't know, this. And I feel like now, because of the pandemic, there's more awareness about self-care. So I realized like, oh, this wasn't like healthy to do that. That was toxic, blah, 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 you know. Also like mini sub point, but like hobbies I find are important. That's something I learned, like just having things to do, you know, on your own time, like painting, making a puzzle, just like little activities that you've been wanting to work on but just haven't had the time, like anything creative, you know, anything that just makes you feel happy, but like whatever it may be. But I just feel like we kind of or didn't have time for hobbies as much in our day-to-day lives before, because we were doing so much, you know, like socializing, working, going to school, whatever, that takes up a lot of time. But like hobbies,
exactly, hobbies are super big because it's exactly what you were saying before, where you were having a hard time being alone because you got bored. If you don't have hobbies to fill that up, then obviously you're going to be bored. You're going to be restless. You're going to always want to be with people because you don't have your own personal, not project, but your own personal things to do.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. And they're not hobbies are fun because they don't have to be serious. They're just things that make you happy. You know, it doesn't have to have like this big end goal to it. It's just like, if it makes you happy, it makes you enjoy your time, like that's, in my opinion, that's what life's about. So just do 100%
Afi. Wise words from Afi.
That's what life's about. Make that puzzle. Like, why not?
make that puzzle.
I love it. Wow, I'm so much happier now.
No, but it is true. And also like having multiple hobbies. Like I remember because my father is retired now, so like he was having a hard time like not doing anything basically, because he's like, my family is very like work oriented, so we always want to do things. So he was like, he kept getting
one
bored.
Second. I was watching Gilmore Girls, and you know when the grandfather goes into retirement and he has no idea what to do, and he I'm just at that episode, so that made me think of what you were saying.
That's literally because my whole family were very like go-getters, we're very like work oriented, we're ambitious, stuff like that. So like at first he was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, why don't you try painting? Like I'm suggesting like random things. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that, blah blah blah. And then like slowly you kind of find your rhythm at that point. You're kind of like, okay, maybe I do like this. Like he's a dad, so he likes golfing, you know, so he
that's
goes
great.
Golfing. Stuff like that.
Exactly. I was gonna say, because I think you mentioned that he was going golfing,
you just need like golf. Exactly, you just need like one thing to kind of spark your interest, and then everything else is going to follow. You're going to fill your time, you're going to enjoy your time, and like
exactly. And and it's crazy in a way that like sometimes we don't even know what we like to do on our spare time. Like sometimes I'm like, what are my hobbies? Like I don't know, because I feel like they're emphasized but they're not, like because we're so involved in our school and our work, we don't always get time to think about like, just not career wise, but just like, what do we have fun doing that doesn't have to be like a professional career, or like something you have to not excel in, but something you need to like develop this really like how do I say, like skill in, like a high level. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be highly skilled in it, but just something you would like to do. And like something I wrote down, but I feel like we have like so much to offer, like more to offer to ourselves than just like school and work, and like we should never stop learning if we enjoy it, and just like like always keep learning whatever it is that you want to do. But I just feel like hobbies are so important. Anyways, Sorry, I just like went on a rant.
No, but I agree.
All good. Yeah, that was pretty much all I had. I don't know if you wanted to add anything else into your lessons.
No, honestly, same. Honestly, if you guys want to hear more things we kind of learned, we have an episode, I think it was very early on, where we did what we learned in quarantine. So we have a couple of more. Whoa. What am I saying? We have a couple of more points in that video if you want to see that, but we don't want to be too repetitive. So this is kind of like just some small things that we've learned, and we hope, honestly, I hope that these type of episodes also teach you guys something. And like, if you can leave a comment in either our YouTube video or like on our Instagram, what you've learned from our podcast, that would be so cool. I think also
I would love that.
Yeah. In our Spotify audio, we're gonna post a question like what you've learned from our podcast, and please let us know, because like,
please let us know. We want to know.
If you can just take one thing away from our podcast, I'm gonna be so happy.
Oh my god, I love this episode because it's wrapping up 2021 so well. It's just nice to like take a look back and like if you guys could leave just one thing you took away, that would be amazing. I'd love to see like, you know, what you guys learned, or like if you learned anything. So that'd be really nice.
Yeah, 100%. And also like, let us know what type of episodes you want to see in the new year, because we're going to keep going. We already have the rest of the season planned. So we would love more ideas. Yeah. We're going to keep going. And we have our 1 year coming up in like 3 months. Like that's super, or 2 months.
Yeah, it's true. We started, I think like end of April or May, beginning May, something like that. I think,
can't remember.
I was still in school, so definitely April. Oh, maybe end of March, actually.
I'm thinking March 1st we released our first one, but then we waited a bit.
Okay,
because we were like, let's see if it picks up. But anyway, so like we're super close to our 1 year. We have a huge thing planned for our 1 year, so be sure to be following us so you can see it. And yeah, I think that wraps up our 2021 episode.
Woo! Props to us. Let's give her a little pat on the back.
Pat on the back.
Like, this podcast, everything we've been accomplishing, and everyone out there is doing great. If you're listening, keep going. You got this. And just like live life, love life, laugh.
Oh God. Just like
my Eat, Pray, Love moment.
Eat, Pray, Love. I love that movie. But anyways, just like if you guys made it here, we made it to 2022. That's already an accomplishment in itself. Yeah. And just the fact that we're going to keep going, we're going to keep growing, we're going to keep learning, and we're just going to keep having fun, you know?
That was so like poetic. We're going to keep growing, we're going to keep learning. I love it.
Yeah, so I think that wraps it up. So we'll see you guys in the new year next week.
Exactly. Yeah, next week.
Yeah,
bye,
literally.
Everybody. Happy New Year. Woo!